So guys, I'm back. I just had a bit of a break, sort of finished up work before university. I just want to say, with this being the Belgian Grand Prix, obviously the whole weekend it's overshadowed by what happened last year, and obviously my sort of content where I'm very upbeat and comedic doesn't really fit with that. So I just wanted to take a moment to remember Antoine. I'm filming this on the 31st, which is the date which he passed away last year. So I just wanted to take a moment to do that, and then yeah, we'll move on with the video. Alright, so I've got that bit out of the way. Getting a bit emotional thinking about it. I don't think the race was as bad as everyone thought. I thought it was a fairly decent race, you know. Saw a lot of people slating it on Twitter, sort of saying that, I don't know, I mean, I saw some people say it was worse than Spain. Were you watching? Did you watch Spain? Apparently not. Let us run through the drivers. So, coming in P20 with a DNS was Carlos Sainz, his best qualifying ever at Spa in 7th. I think that was his first time getting inside the top 10. Good job by him. Shame he had an exhaust failure. McLaren just getting him used to what life's going to be like at Ferrari. Then 19th we have Giovinazzi. Seems to be making a bit of a habit of spinning off at Spa. I think 19th, 18th we'll talk about them together, George Russell and Antonio. So George had a banging weekend, qualified 15th. So yeah, Antonio, that accident, we should probably start looking at these accidents now, because now with Kevin and Antonio, we've had wheels detach. Kevin's one wasn't an issue, it was in a gravel trap, but Antonio, where it took another driver out, it's a serious issue. And also, I don't know what would have happened if George didn't have the halo, if he'd come around that corner earlier, whatever, but we had bigger accidents, like in 2016 we had Alonso go off with Esteban Gutierrez. We had in 2018 we had the Alonso one again where he went over the top of Charles, that where the halo did protect Charles. In 2018 as well we had Marcus Ericsson at Monza have a massive crash, and all the wheels stayed on his car even though it was absolutely mangled. So I don't know what's changed this year. Should we start to be looking at why? Should we be concerned? Because you don't, I mean, when we get fans back to the track, which is going to be at Mugello I believe, you don't want tyres being able to come off cars. It's incredibly dangerous. Pretty bad race for Gio. George just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Then the first of the classified drivers was Kevin Magnussen. I don't really remember seeing much of him in the race. Finished 17th, qualified 20th, so up 3 positions. I mean, wasn't very hard when the 3 people didn't finish the race. 16th, Nicholas Latifi, very good, in front of Kevin Magnussen, really respectable. I think Latifi is doing right this season. I don't think he's terrible. Obviously, he is in that seat because of money. He's not bad. He's above George in the standings on countback alone, so you've got to give that to him. We have Romain Grosjean, qualified 17th, finished 15th. Finished 15th. I don't really remember seeing much of Grosjean really in the race, so it's hard to comment. Okay, I think we should talk about these two together. Charles and Sebastian in 14th and 13th respectively. The fact that we were talking about them not even possibly getting out of Q1. I mean, we knew it was going to be bad. We knew it was going to be bad here for them. But when Sebastian Vettel was 20th in FP3, it wasn't looking good. No one was optimistic for them, were they? I don't know. Monza's going to be painful for them. The Bahrain Noval is going to be painful for them. So, oh well. Maybe you shouldn't cheat next time. Up in 12th was the highest of the Ferrari power cars, Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi had a pretty good weekend. 12th. Got in from 16th is where he qualified. So I think that's quite a good qualifying for an Alpha. 16th. I think Kimi might actually stay at the end of this season. I think that could be a bit of a crazy bold thing to stay. But he's outperforming Gio. He's got knowledge. He's a very experienced driver, and I don't see who else Alfa would really pick up unless they could get Nico Hülkenberg, of which I see him probably going. He's very heavily linked to Haas, so I see you getting Callum Ilott or Robert Schwartzman in it, but you would probably get both of them up from F3 into F2 into one Alfa seat and one Haas seat. My guess would be probably you're going to put Schwartzman in with Kimi, and then Ilott in with Hülkenberg at Haas. That would be what I would say, but we don't know. I think that would work very well because I don't see another driver really being able. You don't want two rookies in a team. Really, it's not brilliant. So I don't know who else they would really get because I don't think Kevin's worthy of that seat at Haas. I don't think Roman's worthy of that seat at Haas. I think they're both very bad. So, but we're not talking about that. P11, Daniel Kvyat was running pretty decently until late into the race because I think he got pitted early on the safety car while Perez and Gasly obviously didn't pit under the safety car. They waited because Gasly was on the hards, although Perez was on the softs for some reasons and they didn't pit him. Maybe it kind of worked out for him. So first of the point scoring positions is Sergio Perez, as I just said. I thought he got really messed over on the strategy. But made an amazing recovery drive, was down in 17th. I think it was about 20 laps in. Lap 44, finished 10th, smashed it. 9th, Lance Stroll, outperforming Sergio Perez again. I didn't outqualify Sergio. 10th of a second off of, not even that, just over half a second off of, not half, 5/100th of a second off of Sergio, that's it. Big brain maths, did A-levels here, mate. In 8th, some people were saying driver of the day, not my driver of the day, was Pierre Gasly. Absolutely smashed it, really. Gasly qualified 12th, finished 8th, did brilliantly. I mean, that move up the inside of Eau Rouge, just, you love to see it. Gasly's really, really putting in a strong performance this year and sort of putting his fingers up to a helmet Marco, but I don't think he'll get that seat. They'll get back in that Red Bull. Thankfully, keep my guy Alex Albon, number 23, in there, because we'll stop the simping before it starts. We'll stop it now. 7th, Lando Norris. Not a spectacular race. I mean, kept up his Q3 appearance streak. Only driver other than Lewis, Valtteri and Max to make it into Q3 every race. So smashing that. I think he only qualified 10th. He did. But Lando does love Spa. I don't know. I feel like Lando's first couple races were amazing. He's still doing very good. I think he's where we can consistently expect to see him now. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that we'll constantly see him about P7, like P5 to P7, really every race, because he's really showing Carlos up. I know Carlos had a few issues early in the season, but like the cooling issues he had, they were saying give him Lando about 10th lap, which over a track like Spa you probably have that exacerbated. But he doesn't. Carlos doesn't have that issue now. They fixed it at Spain, so I don't know. I just think Lando's really been showing Carlos up from being his second season. In 6th, we have Alexander Albon. So Alex yet again getting screwed over with the tyre strategy. If you didn't see what happened, under the safety car, Red Bull pitted both drivers, double stacked it, and gave Max hard tyres and Alex medium tyres. Bit stupid, and then on the last lap he got mugged off by Esteban. Alex was really nursing his tyres from when he got them. He couldn't be pushing as hard as Max could because he didn't have the extra tyre life. It blows my mind. In 5th we have Esteban Ocon. Smashed it. I qualified 6th, finished 5th. Very good, especially for Esteban. I don't rate him that much. I don't see the hype. Don't even think he'll get a race win while he's in F1. Possibly a controversial thing. Sorry, Tinas. Not going to be on that vibe, son. for my driver of the day, Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, give him 2 more laps and he probably would have had a podium. I think it was a 14 or 16 second gap with 5 laps to go. And then last lap, 2 seconds. 2 seconds he finished behind Max. Very close. Yeah, I think probably give him a lap to catch up, lap to overtake. He would have had the podium in the bag. And then Cyril bit of bullshit could have got the older I'm the man that lost Daniel Ricciardo tattoo. Third, Max Verstappen. We didn't really see much of him. He said himself it was a boring race. Second, Valtteri Bottas. Didn't really see much of him because he wasn't doing much. He wasn't really pushing. I feel like Mercedes definitely should have signed George. After hearing Valtteri's comments after qualifying when he said he wasn't bothered by the half-second deficit to Lewis, and then you hear Alex say that he wants to be closer and just work harder to get better than Max. Like, Alex had a half-second deficit to Max. He was annoyed. Valtteri had a half-second deficit to Lewis, and he wasn't bothered. So this is why he will never win a world title. He doesn't have the drive. He doesn't have it. If George was in that car, if George had a half-second deficit, I can guarantee you he would be, and he'd be fuming. He'd be like, "Why have I lost time? Why can't I make it up?" Just, yeah. Finally, last driver to talk about Lewis. Smashed it really. Almost got another Grand Slam. Almost, because Spain. He almost got a Grand Slam. I think Max got the fastest lap. It was a Lewis domination weekend. Classic. Like I say pretty much every video, you can't say much about Lewis. When he smashes it out at the park, there are no words. Really, like, I could sit here and say for 5 minutes why he did amazing, but the less I say the better. Yeah, it could have been yet another Grand Slam to match Jim Clark, but Daniel got the fastest lap this time. On the last lap, I thought he was going to match it, and then you just saw Daniel Ricciardo fastest lap. I was like, oh, can someone just let the man match it, please? And then get another one so he has another record. I hope you all enjoyed the race weekend and we could celebrate someone that gave their life doing what they cared about, and they were there doing what they loved and what their passion was. That's all we can hope to do. Right. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.
But honey, I hope you come back